In this video, I have brought complete explanation of the chapter The Talkative Barber from Class 5 English NCRT. So in this video, I am going to explain the chapter, and in the next video, I will be bringing the question and answers of this chapter. Okay. So here the title of the chapter is The Talkative Barber. Now what is the meaning of talkative? What is the meaning of talkative? Talkative means the one who speaks more, non-stop speaking of a person is known as talkative. And barber means the one who cuts our hair, hajjam. Okay, so this chapter's name is the talkative barber. Long, long ago, a sultan whose name was Shahriyar. What was the name of Sultan? Shahriyar. Ruled over a large kingdom. His queen was a good storyteller. Each night she would tell a story to the king. She narrated ancient Persian and Arabic folk stories. This is one of the stories from the Arabian Nights. Okay. So, in these lines, what you come to know that in this chapter one sultan is there. Sultan means king, ruler, and he has a wife, and uh, her name is not given, but she's a good storyteller. Okay, and each night she tells a story to the king. And what stories she used to tell? She used to tell the stories of ancient Persian and Arabic folk stories. Okay, ancient means very old. Okay, so she used to tell the stories of very old Persian and Arabic folk stories. And this story, what we are going to see today in this video, this story is also from Arabian Nights. Okay, so let's see. Read this story about a man who cannot stop talking. In the city of Kashgar lived a barber who was a great talker. Once the Sultan called the barber to shave his head. The barber started talking non-stop instead of shaving him. The Sultan got angry. Okay, in the city of Kashgar. So where did this barber live? He lived in the city of Kashgar, who was a great talker. Means he used to talk very much. He was a non-stop talker. He used to talk too much. Once the Sultan called the barber to shave his head. Now this Sultan, he wanted to shave his head, so he called a barber in his palace. But this barber was very talkative. The barber started talking non-stop instead of shaving him. So what did the barber do? He started talking too much instead of doing his work. And so Sultan got angry. When are you going to stop talking and begin to do your work? Now the Sultan is asking the barber that when you will stop talking and when will you start to do your work? The barber replied, "You do me an injury by calling me a chatterer." Now, what the barber is saying, what that man is saying who came to shave the head of Sultan, he's saying that you are doing an injury by calling me a chatterer. Injury means hurt, that you are hurting me by calling me as a chatterer. Chatterer is a person who talks more. For everyone says I'm very quiet. I have 6 brothers whom you might call chatterer. Now the barber is saying to the Sultan that you are hurting me by saying that I talk too much, because everyone tell me that I'm very quiet. I have 6 brothers and they are chatterer. You can call them as chatterer because they speak more. I am very quiet. I don't speak much. And he is mentioning their names. His 6 brothers' name he is mentioning. What are their names? Their names are Bakban, Bakbaria, Bakbak, Alkuz, Al-Nashi, and Shakabak. So these are the names of Barber's brothers. One is hump-backed, one is toothless, one is half-blind, one is quite blind, one is deaf, and the other has a defect in his speech, and they all are a great talkers. Now he is mentioning the qualities of his brother, that one is humpbacked. Humpbacked means while walking he bend and walk. He has a hump on his back. So one brother has hump on his back, and the other one is a toothless, means his teeth are broken. He don't have teeth. Then the third one is half blind, and the fourth one is quite blind. Half blind means 50% he is blind, and quite blind means he is 80% blind. And another one is deaf. Deaf means he can't hear, and the other one has a defect in his speech. He may be a stammerer. Okay, stammerer means who cannot speak properly, but they all are great talkers. They all speak too much. But I'm the youngest of my family and I'm very quiet and sparing with words. Now Barber is saying that I have six brothers and I'm the youngest of all. He is the youngest one, okay? And he speaks very less. You can see the pictures of his brother. One is blind, full blind, one is half blind, one is quite blind, and he is toothless, he is deaf. Okay, then give him 3 pieces of gold, the Sultan cried, losing all patience, and send him away. I will not be shaved today. Now, what Sultan is saying that this barber, he is very talkative. He is talking too much and he is not doing his work. So, give him 3 pieces of gold. Why he is giving 3 pieces of gold? It may be his fees, okay? It may be barber's fees. So, he's telling to the other member, this the sultan is telling to his other worker that give this man's fees 3 piece of gold and let him go because he will not shave my head today. My master, cried the barber, it was not I who came to seek you, it was you who ordered me to come. So I will not quit your house till I have shaved you. So now what the barber is saying that no master, you have called me in your house. I have not come here by my own. You have called me here, so I will not quit and go. Quit means I will not leave like this and go you. I will shave your head fully, then only I will go from here. He then began narrating another story which lasted half an hour. After saying this, he began with another story. He started another story which lasted half an hour, means he started a story which took half an hour to complete. Stop making your fine speeches and let me go quickly. I have an affair of greatest importance. I have to go out at noon, said the Sultan. Now Sultan was irritated. What he said that now you stop telling your speeches and stories. I'm not interested in that. I have an important work and I have to go at noon. At noon means at afternoon. Noon means afternoon. So Sultan is in hurry. He is having some important work and he has to go there at afternoon, at noon. So he's saying the barber to finish his work fast and go from here. When he saw that the Sultan was really angry with him, the barber said, "Oh, master, do not be angry. I will begin to shave you." Saying this, he washed the Sultan's head and began to shave, but he had not touched him even 4 times with the razor when he stopped and said, "My master, you are acting hastily in this matter." Now, when the barber saw that Sultan is very angry with me, so he said, "Don't worry and don't be angry. I will start shaving now and very soon I will finish my work." By saying this, he washed his head, Sultan's head, and he started shaving. But again, he started talking. Okay, his hands were working very slow and his mouth was very fast. Barber's. Then what he said, "My master, you're acting hastily." Hastily means hurry. Okay, hastily means hurry. He is saying to the Sultan that you are very hastily you're talking with me. Go on shaving me, speak no more, ordered the Sultan. Sultan is again and again ordering. He's saying that do your work and shut your mouth and do your work. But Barber is not ready to listen to the Sultan's words. Be patient, said the barber. Perhaps you have not considered well what you were going to do. I wish I wish you would tell me what this matter of great importance is all about, and then I will give you my opinion on it. Now Barber is saying, you were saying that you have some important work in afternoon. Now what that important work is, tell to me. Let me know what important work you have in the afternoon. I can give you more idea about that. Opinion means my thought. Okay, the barber is saying I can give you my thoughts on that matter. Finish shaving at once, the Sultan explained. But instead of doing this, the barber left the Sultan half shaved to go and see what time it was. My patience is exhausted, the Sultan cried. Now, Sultan, what is saying that you finish doing your work, finish shaving my head first, and you go from here. But this barber, he has left the Sultan half shaved. Okay, and where he went to see what time it was. The barber, he shaved half head of the Sultan and he went to see what time it is. My patience is exhausted. Now Sultan's patience is exhausted. Exhausted means to finish. Okay, एग्जॉस्ट हो गया उसका पेशेंस एग्जॉस्ट हो गया फिनिश हो गया अब उससे और सबर नहीं हो रहा है बी काम माई मास्टर एंड यू शैल बी शेव्ड इन अ मोमेंट सेट द बार्बर एंड सेइंग दिस ही कंटिन्यूड शेविंग द सुल्तान बट while he was doing this he could not help talking. Okay, so Barber, he was doing his work, but very slowly he was doing. He was talking too much, but his hands were working very slow. If you could inform me what this important affair is, I would give you more advice which you might find useful, he said. Now, Babar is very eager to know that what important work Sultan is having in the afternoon. He wanted to know the reason that what important work is there and where he is going in afternoon. So the Sultan was completely fed up by now and decided to satisfy the barber. He told him that he was giving a feast to some friends at noon, which was why he was in a hurry to leave. Now Sultan at last said the barber that the important work I was talking about is that I have given invitation to some of my friends and they are going to come at noon. Okay, so what important function he is having? He has arranged for a feast. Feast means a grand party, you can say. So he has arranged a party and his friends are going to come in that party. So that is the reason why he is in a hurry to finish his work and go. When the barber heard the Sultan mention a feast, he exclaimed, "That reminds me, yesterday I invited 4 or 5 friends to come to my house today, but I had quite forgotten it and have not made any preparation for them." The Sultan, who was at the mercy of the barber, was ready to do anything to be rid of him. Okay, so when the Sultan said the barber that I have some function in my house and I have invited few of my friends, they are going to come today, so that is why I am in a hurry. At that time, Barber remembered that even I have invited my friends, 4 to 5 friends, even I have invited, and I have not done any preparation for them. Okay. Be quick and finish your work, Sultan replied, and you shall have all the food that has been prepared for me today. Now, Sultan is saying that you finish your work, you shave my head, and instead of that, I will give you all the food that is prepared in my house. I will give it to you so that you can take it and go to your home and give it to your friends and relatives, whoever you have called at your home, you can give it to them. But finish your work, shave my head fast. I will give you everything, whatever I have in my house for today's lunch. Please show me the food so that I may judge if it is enough for my 5 friends. Now, Barber is saying that let me see what food is prepared in your house. Let me see whether it is enough for me and my friends or not. I have enough food for you, the Sultan exclaimed, but he ordered that all the food prepared for his feast be brought in. Then Sultan says, "No, I have prepared too much of food, so uh, you can take it and go it to your home." The barber looked over the food and said, "This is very good, but I shall want some fruits for the dessert also." Now, what is dessert? Dessert means the sweet that is given at the last of the meal. Okay. You have main meal, that is lunch. When you have your lunch, after that you have some sweets, maybe ice cream or custard or anything. So that sweet dish is known as dessert. Okay. So now what Babar is demanding, that I want food and I also want some fruits as dessert. The Sultan, in desperation, since his head was half shaved, ordered that the fruits should also be brought in. Now Sultan, he was fed up of the barber, so he was ready to accept all his commands. Whatever he was asking, Sultan was ready to give him. Take fruits, take foods, take everything and go from here, but finish doing your work. Shave my head first. The barber left off shaving the sultan to examine each dish separately. This took up half an hour. Now the barber, he went to see what food is prepared in sultan's house, and he started to examine. Examine means to check. He started checking, okay, whether the food is good and how it tastes, and that took half an hour. He wasted half an hour in checking the food. The Sultan stamped his feet impatiently, but the barber did not hurry. At length, however, he again took up the razor, but after a few minutes of work stopped suddenly and cried, I never knew that you were so generous. Now again, Sultan, uh, he was very much irritated with this barber, so he stamped his feet impatiently. Okay, now he lost all his calmness. Now he can't wait and he can't tolerate the barber. So he stamped his feet and said that he did not say anything actually. He stamped his feet impatiently. He was not in a good mood, but this did not affect the barber. He was doing his own work, and then later he took up the razor. Razor means blade. Okay, he took that blade and started shaving the sultan's hair. Okay, he started to shave his head. After some time, again barber said that you are so generous. Generous means kind, very good man. Okay, kind, good person. So he's saying to Sultan that you are so good that you are listening to all my words. You have given me food for my friends and you also gave me dessert in the form of fruits. You're so good, Sultan. He again started his speech lecture. Okay, so this was about the chapter. So in the whole chapter, the barber is talking, talking, and talking. Okay, his words are not that important, but he has a habit of talking more. And because of his talkativeness, Sultan was irritated. So here the chapter ends. In the next video, I will bring all the question answers. So here let's see the hard words. Chatterer means someone who talks a lot. Defect means a fault. Opinion means what a person feels about a person, thing or subject. Exhausted means tired and fed up. Dessert, a sweet dish served after the main meal. Examine means to look at something very carefully. At length means at a stretch. So these are the hard words. Okay, so I hope you have understood the chapter. तो इस चैप्टर में क्या था, एक किंग है, एक सुल्तान है, उसे अपना हेड शेव कराना था, तो उसने एक बार्बर को बुलाया, एक हजाम को बुलाया, लेकिन वो हजाम इतना बड़बड़ करने वाला था, वो अपना काम तो कम कर रहा था लेकिन सुल्तान को इरिटेट ज्यादा कर रहा था. फाइनली उसने बाल काटा या नहीं काटा वो तो पता नहीं, लेकिन वो बात करे जा रहा है, करे जा रहा है, और सुल्तान को इरिटेट हो जा रहा था. ठीक है, बस यही है इस चैप्टर में. I hope you have understood, and in the next video I will be bringing the notes of this chapter.